Hello everyone, this is Sibyl Manha. When you think of patriarchy, what comes to your mind? Most of us think about how it impacts women, right? But did you ever stop to think about how patriarchy affects men? That's what we are going to discuss in this video. Let's begin by understanding what patriarchy is. As you know, while writing answers in sociology optional, it's essential to introduce your answers with a proper definition. So here, let us look at the definition given by Sylvia Valby because it is one of the most popular definition of patriarchy. According to her, patriarchy is a system of social structures and practices in which men dominate, oppress, and exploit women. While this definition highlights women's oppression, it's important to note that patriarchy also enforces rigid roles and expectations on men, creating significant emotional and social burden on them. Patriarchy defines what men should be, that is, they should be physically strong, emotionless, sex-hungry, etc., which puts an inordinate delay on the men to conform to the stereotype. Now let's discuss the specific ways in which patriarchy negatively impacts men. First one, the caged emotions. It means men are conditioned to suppress their emotions, as vulnerability is often perceived as a weakness. Consider the popular saying, men don't cry. Now, this expectation creates emotional bottlenecks, making it difficult for men to process feelings like sadness or fear. Over the time, this emotional suppression can lead to isolation, stress, and even mental health challenges such as depression or anxiety. Next, second, restricted identity. What do you understand by restricted identity? Patriarchy enforces a rigid definition of masculinity, that is, men are expected to man up. What does that mean? That means men should be dominant and they should conform to the societal ideals of strength and control. Men cannot escape from the pressure of this identity even if they are different. Suppose you are not like that, but still society's pressure will push you to do such sort of things. Now let us look at the third point, that is risk-taking and violence. Traditional masculinity often glorifies aggression and recklessness. It has led to a higher rate of violence, accidents, and even self-harm among men. And let's not forget male-on-male violence. You might have come across such instances. And what do people say? It is nothing but the boys being boys, right? So let's jump on to the fourth point, that is the economic burden. Now this is the most important and psychologically daunting aspect of patriarchy on male. Men are often expected to be the sole breadwinners, which can lead to the feelings of shame if they struggle financially. This pressure to provide ties their identity to their paycheck, and this is a heavy load to carry for men. And finally, limited role in parenting. If you know, modern parents like to involve with their children, whether it is male or female. But the patriarchal norms often restrict men in such roles because men are not considered to be the nurturers, and their participation in parenting and caregiving is not taken well by the society. So these are the negative effects of patriarchy on male. I hope you have understood the impact of patriarchy on male. But now, as we are dealing with the sociological topic, it is necessary that we understand it through the sociological prism. So let's look into some of the important sociological theories that are dealing with patriarchy and its impact on male. Now, let us jump into the first important concept. Here we are going to discuss about R.W. Connell's The Concept of Hegemonic Masculinity. You might have come across this concept while dealing with that of gender issues, gender stratification, etc. But here we are going to focus on how it affects masculinity and how it affects men in particular. So, society creates an ideal form of masculinity according to this theory. Now, that masculinity is dominant, controlled, as well as emotionally restrained. Men who don't fit this mold, such as those who are emotionally expressive, those who are gay or transgender, are often marginalized in the society because of this fact. Another important concept is Judith Butler's gender performativity. In gender performativity, Judith Butler says that gender is something that we perform. It's not something that we are, but it is something that we perform on a regular basis. And those roles are nothing like aggression or risk-taking or even those actions that are against our true selves. But if we keep on doing such roles, then society will label as such genders. Next is the Marxist feminist theory. They say that the patriarchy ties men's identity to their labor. They are exploited as wage earners while their emotional and relational selves are suppressed. This mirrors Marx's concept of alienation, where workers are disconnected from their labor. Durkheim's study of suicide can also be used as an example here, because according to Durkheim's theory of suicide, one of the most important type of suicide is economic suicide, which is caused due to the breakdown of societal expectations, as well as you can connect it with the egoistic suicide, which is linked to the lack of belonging. Men are subject to both of these kind of suicide instances. So you might have got enough idea regarding how exactly patriarchy affects the male. We have discussed important aspects related to how patriarchy affects male, as well as we have covered important sociological concepts that you can use in your answer when UPSC asks such question. Also, you should note that these concepts can also be applied in certain other questions which are related to men, male, gender, sexuality, etc., where these concepts as well as theories will fit in rightly in your answer. So you always have an idea that whatever you learn as part of different topics can be further used in your answers in different areas. This is we popularly known as inter-syllabus integration, where you try to integrate the knowledge and the concepts that you learn from different parts of the syllabus into the question that you get in UPSC. So, let us conclude. Patriarchy isn't just a system that oppresses women. That is for sure. It is also a system that confines men. It limits their emotions, their identity, as well as their relationship, that creates pressure on them, and that creates a kind of burden that they will have to carry for a longer period of time. So when we talk about patriarchy, we have to also consider that it will help, or fighting patriarchy will also help male to live their life in a fuller way. So thanks for joining me in this discussion, and in this video, I hope you have got a clear idea regarding patriarchy and its impact on male. So let's keep this conversation going. If you like this video, subscribe, press the like button and share this video. Thank you so much. We'll meet with the next one. See you.